best damn interview for professional and independent wrestling that you've ever heard.
And I'm Joe Lamb. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts, keep your arms in the vehicle at all times. Wrestle Talk begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Enjoy the ride.
What up, Shelly? Thanks for being here. Always appreciate you being here. What up, Hype Man? Appreciate you being here too, man. What is up? What is up? What is up? Wrestle Talk Family. It is your boy, the Night Owl, checking in live right here from the heartland of the Midwest, Kansas City. Excited for another episode of the Wrestle Talk podcast, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a good one.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen?
There he is. What up, Joey?
Wednesday night, it is 8 o'clock. That means one thing and one thing only. It is time for the Wrestle Talk podcast. If you are hearing the sound of my voice, whether it be live, whether it be on the replay, we thank you so much for listening to us and joining us and supporting us for this amazing, amazing, amazing podcast. What better way to start it off than starting it off with my favorite tag team, Demolition. I could watch Demolition anytime and I would be a happy man. Whether it's Axe and Smash, Axe, Smash and Crush, Demolition was my tag team. They may have been a blatant ripoff of the Legion of Doom, but that's okay. They were still my tag team. Let me go ahead and bring in the man, the myth, the legend. You know him, the Night Owl. What's up, my friend?
Que pasa, que pasa, que pasa, mi gente, my family of Wrestle Talk. Thank you guys for being here. Facebook Live is absolutely off the chain. Man, every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Time, man, is where we keep it official like a referee with a golden whistle. Nightmare Jones, I'm so excited for today's show, man. We got so much to cover in so little time. Let me take a moment to thank everybody checking in on Facebook. Anybody who's listening on the replay, we greatly appreciate you. If you are live, please share this broadcast. Please tap the screen nonstop. And if you're listening to on replay, leave a review if you're on iTunes. If you're anywhere else, man, please share. That's all we ever ask from you, members of the Wrestle Talk family. Special shout out to the people kicking off the show with us tonight. Alex, thank you for being here. John, thank you for being here. Curtis, thank you for being here. Shelly, Drew, and I can't see the 3 other names that are up there, but I appreciate you guys all being here. As you've probably noticed, the Bully Smasher will be joining us in studio in just a few minutes, Nightmare Jones, but he's actually already on the live thread. So if you guys want to interact with the Bully Smasher, Shannon Reed, go ahead and do that right here in the comment section. And in just a few minutes, he'll be sitting right here to my right and joining us on the show. With all that being said, Nightmare Jones, what else do we got in line for the folks of the Wrestle Talk podcast tonight?
Oh my goodness, tonight. Of course we have the High Spot segment, but we're going to be talking about everything that's been going on in professional wrestling, and after that, we have the Bully Smasher. Then we've got the Wrestle Talk, the FWWC segment, which is one of my favorite segments. Everybody always calls in, which is awesome. Hopefully we don't have the shenanigans that we had last on the FWWC tonight. That was absolutely crazy. After that, we got Snippets of Truth, the Big Daddy B. Then we've got the AOC coming on. And then it's the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. What more could you ask for?
Why you gotta bring up stuff that I'm sensitive about, bro? You already know how I feel about the Game Show Challenge. You and our co-producer Luke Roberts are always screwing me over, asking me a bunch of questions I don't know the answer to. It's unfair, and honestly, it's culturally biased, bro. I'm sick and tired of y'all setting me up for failure, Nightmare Jones.
For failure?
Yeah, that's right. You heard what I said.
I don't think it's failure, but you know, it's all good.
You guys are always
It's
setting me
all
up.
in fun.
Hey, it's fun for you. It's not fun for me when I lose 12 straight challenges. But you know what? I'm going to step out of my feelings for a moment and ask everybody to please share this broadcast. Again, if you're listening to us on a replay, share it. Joe, I'm pretty excited, man. We got a room full of people, and I know there's a ton of folks that are listening, and I'm really excited to make an announcement. January 28th, the Royal Rumble. We're going to be talking about that today during the High Spot segment, Joe. But we are also going to have a tremendous event taking place here in the greater Kansas City area at Esports Bar, Gaming, and Console Lounge. The Wrestle Talk podcast is teaming up with the world's greatest fantasy wrestling group, the FWWC, and we're going to be hosting the Royal Rumble watch party, man. 20 TVs playing the Royal Rumble, 20 TVs available for you to play Xbox One and PlayStation 4. We're going to be having a WWE 2K18 tag team tournament, $10 a team, 10 teams allowed. The winners will take home the pot, which is simple math, about $100. Also, we're going to be raffling off a pair of tickets to WWE SmackDown February 6th, which takes place February 6th, right here in Kansas City at the Sprint Center. So, Joe, I know you're not going to be able to make it for this one. I know you're planning on making it for Universe Mania 4, which is our WrestleMania watch party. But those of you who can make it, make sure you do make it. And space is limited. $5 a ticket to get in. If you're interested in buying those ahead of time, man, hit me up, send me a direct message, and I'll get you taken care of, Nightmare Jones. Well, that being said, bro, we got business to take care of, right? And before we can take care of that High Spots business, we got to do what we always do about this time, as we ask everybody to kindly remove their caps, place their hands over their hearts, as we pay homage to the greatest country on God's green earth, and that's America, damn it.
Say, can you see? And the rocket, red flag. Uh-oh. I'll make up for it now. For the land of the free.
Every single time.
I know it does, Nightmare. I know it does. Well, listen, bro, there is so much going on in the world of professional wrestling. We're about 6 minutes away from being joined by the Bully Smasher, Shannon Reed, and I'm excited about that. But before we do, man, we're going to go ahead and get into High Spots, okay? Because you know what? We are asking everybody to dial that number. We want you to be a part of the conversation. That number is 657-383-1521. Again, that's 657, typing it out here for y'all, 383-1521. You guys need to go ahead and dial that number because we want you guys to be a part of the conversation. Because that's what this is all about, man. It's all about the Wrestle Talk family, right, Nightmare Jones?
Absolutely. It's what it's always been about. That's what it will always be about. The Wrestle Talk Podcast family.
Absolutely. Let's get into High Spots, baby.
Earth rings. We have now taken over your radio.
Hit 'em high, hit 'em high, hit 'em high. Hit 'em low, hit 'em low, hit 'em low.
To the hole, you ain't got no game. I'm breaking your out the frame, coming through like a train. Something that takes over the whole world is my goal with my unstoppable speed.
Oh my goodness. There's so much stuff that we could talk about tonight. I guess we should start it off with what happened last night. Oh my goodness. Not only did you have the semifinals for the United States Championship, but last night we crowned a brand new United States champion. Now, Nina, I gotta ask you, how excited are you that Bobby Roode has won the United States title?
I'm a little torn, and I'll tell you why. I believe that I've now finally uncovered why Dolph Ziggler walked away from WWE the way that he did. I believe that Dolph Ziggler was only going to hold that belt for a couple of weeks, and he would eventually drop that belt to Bobby Roode. He, if I'm not mistaken, Dolph Ziggler, was one of the first people that Bobby Roode interfaced when he got to the main roster. They had a short little rivalry, just like Dolph did that with Nakamura and a few others. So there's a part of me that believes that this was inevitable, whether Ziggler would have kept that belt instead of dropping it, or, obviously things playing out the way that they played out. I like Bobby Roode. I'm not as big on Bobby Roode as everyone else because I didn't really see any of his stuff before WWE. As you guys know, I'm not a TNA Impact guy, so I didn't really see much of him then. But I believe he's very polished, he's very talented, and the guy looks like $1,000,000, no doubt about it. He'll do a great job with the United States Championship, but I'm confused because the Bobby Roode that I fell in love with when he got to NXT was the heel Bobby Roode, and at this point, we've gotten nothing but a babyface Bobby Roode. So it's a little weird. I would have much rather him capture the championship as a heel, but hey, the guy's super talented. Yeah. No one can deny it, and inevitably he was going to get it, so why not, right?
Yeah. I mean, I totally understand. If you have seen Bobby Roode as a true heel, you know that Bobby Roode plays a much better heel than he does as face. In TNA, Bobby Roode was an amazing heel. I am just waiting for them to pull that trigger and allow him to be the heel that everybody that knows Bobby Roode knows that he can be. Because Bobby Roode can play a pretty good heel. Still not quite sure about the whole Dolph Ziggler thing. I mean, Dolph Ziggler was a great...
Of course.
To Blog Talk Radio. Please hold and you will be able to listen to the show.
Go up at the or something, because I think that would be, really awesome. And as a pull the wool everybody's eyes, you think that Dolph Ziggler actually stepped away, but in fact, he just took some time off, and deep down, that's what I'm hoping is going to happen, because I don't want to see Dolph Ziggler leave the WWE.
Well, it would definitely be way too soon. Shout out to Wally checking us out down in South Florida. Susan checking in from West Virginia. Jay Hollywood checking in from St. Louis. Man, I could just keep going and going. Hey, my boy, Big T, the Paisan checking in. What's going on? Professor Corpel, man, everybody is in the house. And I'm sure none of you guys are really here to see me, because in just a matter of moments, we're going to be joined by the Bully Smasher, Shannon Reed. He'll be with us in under a minute and a half. Nightmare Jones, before we bring on the Bully Smasher, man, I know there was at least one other thing that we wanted to talk about in High Spots, man. Why don't you drop that on the listeners?
There were so many things that we could talk about. I mean, from Jey Uso getting arrested in Texas to the reports of Ronda Rousey signing her deal with the WWE. I mean, there's so much stuff that we could definitely talk about. I'm guessing that maybe we could hit both of them. I'm hoping to. So I guess if we're going to start off with Jey Uso was arrested in Texas for, I believe it was a DUI, if I'm not mistaken. Not really sure what that's going to do with the Usos tag team titles. I don't really see too big of a repercussion. I mean, yeah, they kind of frown upon it, but I don't really see too big of a repercussion. How about you, sir?
Well, you know what? It all depends on how many other infractions Jay has had. I know they got kind of like a 3 strikes and you're out sort of thing going on over there from what I've heard. It's kind of unfortunate when, you know, this is probably the best version of the Usos that we've seen today, and when something like this happens, I mean, quite honestly, it can really derail momentum when something like this happens. And, you know, obviously, since WWE converted to a publicly traded company, it's always really, really important to make sure that you're comporting yourself, that you're behaving yourself in the manner that reflects positively upon the company that you work for, because whether or not he was on the clock, the media is going to cover it like this. WWE superstar Jey Uso was arrested on a DWI. They don't say, you know, Jonathan Fatu was arrested. You know, that wouldn't really make the headlines. So what happens? They implicate the company that these guys work for. It makes them look bad. It makes the company look bad. So hopefully this doesn't affect their run. I'm pretty excited to see them at the Royal Rumble. I think they're one of the better tag teams around right now. And so if it does affect it, it's going to be very unfortunate. But again, it all depends on how many other infractions Jey Uso has. You get what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. It definitely does depend on how many other infractions he has definitely had. So moving on.
Well, Joe, before hey, Nightmare, before we move on, let's do this. I'm looking at the clock, and I think it's about time that we bring on our featured guest of the evening. I know we got a little bit of music to help us introduce this gentleman. I'm pretty excited because I've been a fan of this gentleman for well over 2 years. He's done most of his dirty work at KCXW, but he's also pretty well traveled, still relatively young in his wrestling career. Last year, he participated in the Season of Excellence for KCXW and actually helped capture the Season of Excellence championship. Not only that, I mean, you're talking about a guy that's had a lot of career highlights here in just the last couple of months. This past Saturday, Nightmare, I had the distinct honor in only my second ring announcer / commentator job to call a WWE Hall of Famer in Ricky Morton of the Rock and Roll Express as he teamed up with the Bully Smasher to face some jerk named JC Thunder and some bonehead named Hollis Jarreau. So without further ado, let's get that music queued up. Ladies and gentlemen, the Bully Smasher, Shannon Reed. My brother.
What's
Thanks for
up,
making
Rene?
it, family? Thanks for making it, man.
Yeah, man.
Looking good
I'm
over
excited,
here, bro.
I'm excited.
There it is.
Final countdown.
Final countdown.
This song just puts you in a good mood.
I was already in a good mood. It makes it even better, right? There it is. All right, let's hear how.
On.
Joe's excited. He's been wanting to talk to you for a while. Hey, before we get started, let's see how high pitch you guys can go. Joe, let me get your best final countdown.
Final countdown. It's the final countdown.
Wow, did you hear that?
Yeah, that
I
was
can't
impressive.
follow that. I can't. I'm gonna try. It's the final countdown. Boom. All right, your turn, Shannon.
It's the final countdown.
I love it, dude.
There's a reason I wrestle and I don't sing.
No doubt about it. All right, so I have it under pretty good authority, bro, that when you're not at KCX, you actually come into that song. Why?
I just love the song. I feel like it's upbeat. It gets you hyped. It just, I just feel it. Like some songs you just feel, and that's one that I just really like. Cheesy songs from the 80s are my favorite.
Dude, they are. You know what? And it fit perfectly because you had an opportunity to wrestle alongside a WWE Hall of Famer this past weekend in Ricky Morton. We're going to get into that here in just a second. But, Joe, I want to have you jump in, Joe. I know that you've been looking forward to talk to the Bully Smasher for a while. I know you follow on Casey Anthem on YouTube. You've got at least one of the DVDs. You've been a big fan, man. So why don't you jump on in here first with the Bully Smasher as we work on getting some of these questions from the listeners that are tuning in through the link, and then also everybody who's on Facebook Live. Joe, the floor is yours, my friend.
All right. Like I said, it's an honor and a privilege to have you on the show tonight. I guess that's the first question that I want to ask, and this is a question that I ask about everybody. What made the Bully Smasher want to be a professional wrestler?
That's a good question.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you very much for the kind words. I've been listening to you and Rene for years, so that means a lot to hear that from you. So I always wanted to be a professional wrestler. It was my dream when I was a kid. I wanted to go to Al Snow's school in Lima, Ohio when I was a teenager. And what happened was I went to college and I got a family, and it just never really happened. And then I saw the Extreme Wrestling Center in Raytown, and I followed him on Facebook for quite a while. And I always was giving myself the reasons not to go. I was like, well, I'll wait till this happens, or wait till I do this, and I just decided I need to just get in there and do this because this is my dream, and I need to see if I can actually do this, because I grew up as a huge wrestling fan, and I just had that passion to get in the ring and to do the physicality and tell the stories and all the things that we do in the ring. So I finally contacted the Extreme Wrestling Center and went there for a tryout and passed, and that's kind of how I got into it.
Okay, that's a very, very good answer. My second question is, what is it like being in the ring with Hollis Jarreau?
Just so you know, we are not a PG show, so I know that if we were, you maybe would hold back a little bit. So feel free, express yourself.
All right. It's funny because my first match period, was at KCXW Unleashed in April of 2016, and I was in a battle royal. And I actually threw Hollis out to eliminate him in that match.
I remember that.
so that kind of started like a kind of an unspoken rivalry, and then we had a match at the Comic-Con event. It ended in a no contest. He threw powder at me. The referee got knocked down, and then of course we wrestled this past weekend. Hollis is a very talented guy in the ring, but he's a complete jerk outside of it. He's very egotistical. And you can see him in KCXW. He breaks the rules. He comes out just looking like he's just the cockiest bastard in the world. And you just want to smack him or see somebody smack him. And that's why I like to get in the ring with him, because then I can smack him around a little bit and kind of give him a taste of his own medicine.
So, hey, Joe, let me share this story before we move on to something else. And we promise we'll have Shannon talk about his experience with Ricky Morton here in just a couple of minutes. Thank you, Tank, for sharing. Thank you, Shelly, for sharing. Big, sexy STL. What up, Chris Rodell? We love you, man. Thank you for being here. Bro, so at the last show, not Wrestling for Pets, but the one before that, it was at State Street. What was that called?
Excellence.
Excellence, right.
Yes.
So, all right, the biggest show of the year, Excellence, right? So I'm sitting there. First ever time I get to do ringside commentary. This is like a dream come true for me. Like, I did the ring announcer gig. It was kind of cool. I liked it, but I've always been like the commentary thing. Right. That's what I really wanted to do. So I'm enjoying myself, having a good time. Hollis Jarreau walks over with a cigar, still wearing his glasses. It's probably 7:30 at night at this point. It's been dark for an hour. Flings his nasty-ass cigar right in my face. I swear, bro, I had to grab some wet naps and some sanitizer and almost a blowtorch to get that jerk's freaking germs off the side of my face. But you know what I did with that cigar? I recycled it, because that's what the good guys do. But I'm telling you, Hollis Jarreau is a bad man.
He's a jerk.
Yep.
He's a jerk.
Go ahead, Joe. Sorry to jump in there. I just had to share that Hollis Jarreau story, because for people who don't know, my folks down in Cape, they know who he is. They know what a big jerk he is. My folks out in St. Louis for Dynamo, and I believe he's worked SICW, a couple other places like that.
We've tried to ship him out a lot of places, but
he keeps coming back.
Yeah, he's like a cockroach. He won't stay away.
Cockroach, boomerang, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, he keeps coming back for sure. Go ahead, Nightmare Jones. Sorry to cut you off.
All right, my last question before I go to Rene, because I don't want to take up all of the questions. It's going to have to be this. If you could pick any wrestler, deceased, alive, any wrestler that you could wrestle against, who would it be and why?
That's a great question. I would have to pick, if I could wrestle one guy, it would be beautiful Bobby Eaton in his prime.
Bobby only had a handful of matches in his whole career, right? Like,
yeah,
that makes it even more special, right?
No, Bobby's you're thinking of the midget wrestler.
No, I'm thinking about I'm thinking Bobby Heenan.
Bobby Heenan.
No, you
okay.
mean Bobby Eaton.
Okay,
gotcha.
Yeah, I'm talking about 1980s Midnight Express.
Midnight Express.
Beautiful Bobby Eaton.
Been on the show. Good friend.
Really?
Yeah, man. He's a member of the Wrestle Talk family, right, Joe?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Yeah, he's awesome.
It was a very, very interview. Yes.
Bobby Eaton is one of the most talented guys I've ever seen get in the ring. He's right up there with the Shawn Michaelses and the Bret Harts in my eyes. Just a super talented guy that doesn't get enough credit. I'd like to see him. I'd like to see him go in the Hall of Fame someday. As a member of the Midnight Express, he certainly deserves it, and I'd love to wrestle him in his prime just because he's so damn talented.
Yeah, and he's not bad as a manager either, Shannon. I actually saw him about a year and a half ago at New Breed, and he was managing Mike Outlaw, of all people. So kind of cool to see a legend like that. Obviously, physically, over the last couple of years, he's gone through some challenges. But the fact of the matter is that doesn't take away from anything that he did. I got to ask you this question to piggyback off of Joe. You said Bobby. You wrestled Ricky. So do you have a favorite? Was it Rock and Roll Express? Was it Midnight Express? On any given day, did they fluctuate and change? I know it's got to be a tough one for you.
All right, so if you asked me who are your favorite wrestlers of all time, number one is Rock and Roll Express, and number two is Midnight Express. I know they're tag teams, but those are the two biggest influences on me as far as like what I liked watching when I was a kid, and my just my favorite stuff of all time. Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express. I like the old school stuff. Four Horsemen. Barry Windham. If you don't know who Barry Windham is, get some tapes. He's one of the most talented guys that's ever wrestled, and not enough people talk about him. All those 80s guys, Arn, Tully, the Fantastics, Ted DiBiase. That's the good stuff, man.
Yeah, that is absolutely the good stuff. Yo, shout out to Adrian Surge. No, not Pineapple Express, Nathan. Cut it out. That's a damn good movie. Now, it's funny because you brought up a guy that did you watch Wrestle Kingdom?
Yes.
All right, and there was a guy there that reminded me of a guy that you just mentioned, Barry Windham, and that is Switchblade, Jay White. I saw Switchblade, and immediately I was like, wow, that's kind of like Barry Windham in a lot of ways. I got to get your thoughts. I know we're a couple of weeks out from it, but as a guy who's actually in the business, did you appreciate the whole Wrestle Kingdom thing, how everything played out? I know you hit me up and you're like, yo, sorry, I'm going to be on social media for 2 days. No spoilers. And if there's anybody on this planet who hates spoilers, it's me. So I could definitely empathize with Shannon here because he wanted to watch the whole show. Some of us don't just read the dirt sheets. Yes, there are fans that actually watch the whole show. There's very few of us, but we do exist. So give me your thoughts on that because it had to be special for you.
So I'm still a wrestling fan. I still watch stuff. And, I honestly don't watch a lot of WWE. I'll watch like maybe Royal Rumble or WrestleMania, but New Japan I'm a huge fan of, and Wrestle Kingdom I was super excited about. The Jericho Omega match I thought was awesome.
Did it live up to expectations?
Oh yeah, it exceeded them.
Agreed.
Exceeded them. The 4-way junior heavyweight match with Will Ospreay and Hiromu Takahashi and Marty Scurll and Kushida.
Marty.
Dude,
that dude is amazing.
Yeah.
I mean, all of them really.
Dude, Will Ospreay is like the man. Like he's
my
like
favorite line of the night. My favorite line of the night. There's 3 things that are certain in life: death, taxes, and scroll over Ospreay. Right? And guess who won?
Yeah,
Ospreay won. It was fantastic. And then that when he went up on the scaffold and then did the flip, right? He did the moonsault from like 15 feet up. It was crazy, bro.
Yeah, it was awesome. The whole show.
Exactly.
Minoru Suzuki was awesome on that show. Like, that's just, it's the cream of the crop to me in pro wrestling.
Yo, shout out to Money Mayo.
So here's
How you doing,
what
Sonny?
we're going to do. We actually have a caller that is on the line that actually has a question.
Wait.
Wait.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Wrestle Talk sponsors another podcast. It's called the FWWC Tonight. It's a fantasy wrestling podcast. It's Mondays, 10:30, same station, same channel, right? Same number, too. Joe, it better not be those guys from the Howard Stern show that try to troll us. That actually happened, dude. Some guys from Howard Stern called us and were trolling us.
Nice.
It's not them.
Are you sure?
I can promise you
Okay.
that it is not them. Let's go ahead and bring in this gentleman on, Mr. Brandon Buck. You are live on the
ICW, right?
Yeah.
ICW?
Yeah.
Aren't you a former ICW tag champ?
Yeah. How you doing, Brandon?
What's up, franchise?
Oh, it's the franchise, the greatest of all time, the best world, but more importantly, the old world, and I just goddamn stalled my car.
Way to go, franchise.
Traded in my truck for a manual shift, and I howdy, sold my car. God damn it. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, I'm just going to say this. I just want to say this. I'm not here to cut a promo. I'm here to finally say on a big platform, Shannon, I saw you and I watched you and I was part of the business in Topeka with you and Jason Lee. Thank you so much, man. I tell you what, you are a phenomenal star, and anybody who does not sign you is full of shit. I tell you, you have done more for this business than people want to talk about. And I'm not saying that as a disrespect to anybody. I'm just saying as a throwout. You are a phenomenal star, and I watch you, and I apologize because I can't comment on every single thing that you post on Facebook or what have you, but you are just phenomenal, dude, and I'm so proud of you because, one, I consider you a friend, and two, I consider you a big-time superstar in the indie league. Now, here is my question to you, because I just heard you about who you grew up on, what have you. Now, right now, because let's just be real, you're not being signed by WWE yet. Keyword yet. What is a match you will purposely love to be a part of?
Well, first of all, Brandon, man, that's some awesome things you said about me, and I really appreciate it. Everyone go check out Brandon's car website and buy some cars from him. Yeah, so...
Actually, sidebar, I'll stop you right there. Sidebar, I got a promotion, so I'm no longer in sales. I'm taking photographs, but I appreciate you holler, boy.
All right. He's in the big time now.
Baller.
Now, I will say this. Me and Jeff Ettinger are going to beat the shit out of each other on March 17th in Topeka, but that's another story. That's neither here nor there. This is a Shannon show. This
All right,
is a franchise show. So,
good luck in your match. Good luck in your match. As far as
thank you, Bo.
As far as what match I'd like to have, I had people telling me that they'd like to see me wrestle Bad Luck Fale from New Japan.
Ooh, buddy.
But I'm like, man,
that's a big man.
I'm thinking that me and Bad Luck Fale would make a heck of a tag team. We could definitely smash some people, I think. We're just a little bit different philosophy-wise. What's that?
I'll tell you this, Shannon. This is what you need to do, bro. I learned this way back in the day 7 years ago. You have to hit a home run to make a name for yourself in this business. So what I suggest, and this is a suggestion, but what I suggest to you, because of how talented you are and what your resume is with the wrestling league, you need to face Barry Lyndon. I'm breaking kayfabe. I know, NWL, all that bullshit, whatever. Whatever the fuck his name is. I think it's Flex Zerbrand. It doesn't fucking matter. Here's the thing. Shannon Steward versus Barry Windham. Booyah! WrestleMania, Daddy. WrestleMania.
Wow.
Wow. Well, let's see if we can't make some phone calls and make that happen. Brendan, we always thank you for joining us, man. We love the energy. Big shout out to you, man, and hopefully we'll see big things out of you continuing over at ICW, man. Thanks for being with us tonight. Gotta love Brendan, but he always brings a lot of energy.
Rene,
Good talking to you,
bro.
buddy.
Hey, none but respect, man. You take it easy. So let me jump from that to this. You are, or formerly were, ICW Tag Champ. So talk to us about that, because I believe that's one of the promotions outside of Kansas City that you frequent on a regular basis, right?
I wouldn't say I frequent it. Me and Ray Gamma went up to Topeka to Impact Championship Wrestling over the summer and wrestled a team called the Patriots of War, which were...
know those guys.
Yeah.
I know those guys.
Which are Sarge and Chris Gatlin.
Yep.
And that's a tag team that's making a lot of waves in Missouri and Illinois. And it was to determine the first ICW Tag Team Champions, and me and Ray Gamma ended up winning that match. And Ray Gamma, many times me and him just don't see eye to eye, but, sometimes when you go to a new place, you get kind of, two guys coming together for a common goal, and we won their tag team titles. We ended up having to forfeit the belts because all of their shows ran against KCXW shows, and ICW deserves a tag team that's going to be there every month to defend the belts, and so it was an honor to win the belts. But yeah, we'll always have that memory, but we aren't the champions anymore.
Hey, look, it's Ray Gamma.
What's up, Jason?
Yo, Jason, what's up, buddy? Real quick, speaking of breaking kayfabe, get well soon, bro. We saw your posts on social media about having to take some time off. Listen, man, a lot of guys who have a passion for this business would probably continue to wrestle, maybe selfishly because they love it so much, but what you're willing to do in stepping back to get your health right so that you can come back better than ever, I think is huge. So shout out to you, Jason, a.k.a. Ray Gamma. We are looking forward to you making your return to the squared circle, and I know for sure that you're going to be better than you ever were before.
Yeah, and I just got to say, Jason is one of the best people I've ever met in my life. He's just a great guy. I'm super glad I met him, and I'm glad he's a part of KCXW. We need great guys, and we have great guys, and he's one of the coolest. He's one of the best. He's just incredible.
He's just incredible. Like that. It's an inside joke, but I'm laughing like I know what the hell he's talking about. I got no idea.
It's an old ECW thing.
Oh yeah, I remember Just Incredible.
Yeah.
He kind of looked like Stone Cold a little bit.
Yeah,
he did
like
the jean short thing.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, he was super hardcore. Super hardcore. So I'm looking at the clock here, Shannon. We got about 22 minutes left, so I would be remiss if I didn't ask you about what happened last year leading into this year. You and your team captured the Season of Excellence Championship, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I know that was something that you were striving for a very long time. You guys had an uphill battle from the very beginning. There were a lot of changes that took place on your guys' roster, but ultimately you guys were able to pull it off. So talk to me how different it is when you work somewhere outside of KCXW, where you're predominantly focused on your singles career. I mean, we're talking about Great Plains Wrestling, Impact Championship Wrestling, Strictly Insane, World Powerhouse, Lucha Libre Mexicana. But at KCXW, you work in a team. And so that's got to bring a totally different... Yo, shout out to, hey, BRB, what up? Hey, we got somebody from California checking us out.
All right.
Baby. Yo, hey, what up, Jeff? Man, everybody's tuning in today, bro. We got to have you in every week. But anyway, so you worked in this team dynamic. How was that different for you versus working as an individual pretty much everywhere else you go?
So I love being on the Force. For those of you that don't know, I'm a member of a team called the Force. It's headed by Captain Shabam. He's
great leader.
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
And he selected me in 2016 to be on his team, the Force. And we came up just a hair short in 2016, but in 2017 we won it, and we did it with great guys like Juno Granger and James Moore, and you know, it's hard to even say Cornelius Weaverstone because of all that's happened lately. But you know, at that time at least, we were a unified team, and we fought with our hearts. And even though President Smiley tried to keep us down, and a lot of people tried to hurt us, we kept our focus, and we won it. We went all the way.
Yeah, you did go all the way. I mean, obviously, anyone who saw the poster for tonight's show saw you carrying that Season of Excellence championship. I know you've held championships in other places, but this one probably had a special significance to you, didn't it?
It did, because first of all, KCXW is where I started. It's my home. It's my, you know, I love KCXW, and to win the Season of Excellence is kind of like the pinnacle. The whole year is built around that championship, and I, you know, there's not a lot of guys that can say they were a Season of Excellence champion, but I'm one of them.
That is pretty cool. Joe, I know you've been waiting over there, man. We got a lot of people. Shout out to the young and dangerous Evan Morris, who is always showing us love and support. I'm going to have you jump back in here, man, because I know you've been anxious to ask Shannon about his experience from this last weekend where he got to team up with none other than the WWE Hall of Famer, one half of the Rock and Roll Express, Ricky Morton. Joe, why don't you jump back in here?
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, Ricky Morton is a awesome dude. I had the pleasure of booking a show with him. That's just almost a year ago. Funny dude, awesome dude. So, what was your experience with Ricky Morton?
So I pretty much spent the whole weekend with Ricky, basically. You know, it was all built around the big tag team match, but I picked him up Friday from the airport, and we went to Applebee's and got some...
Whoa. Nightmare Jones, can I get the Iron Sheik drop real quick? It's coming. Anytime.
Fucking bullshit!
Wait a minute. So you're telling me you pick up Ricky Morton, your hero, in Kansas City, and you take him to Applebee's?
Yeah.
What the hell is wrong with you, bro?
You
You
know,
got a million choices. Gage, you could have took him to Joe's Kansas City, which is right up the street from the studio. You take the man to Applebee's? Does he just really love half-price appetizers or something? What the hell's going on?
well, I wanted to hit somewhere in the Barry Road area because, you know, we had to be up early the next morning for the seminar at the Extreme Wrestling Center.
That's a good point.
So Applebee's seemed kind of like, you know, they have all different kinds of food, and he was good with it. He's an Applebee's guy, so we went there. And
Applebee's went over, baby.
Yeah, Applebee's went over for the 3 count, and we had a good time and had some good food, and yeah, it was a blast. And then the next morning we went to the seminar, which lasted for 4 hours, and we had a huge turnout for it. We had
like 30 people?
Yeah.
35, 40s? I saw the picture, bro.
There was a lot of people there, and Ricky was awesome. Everyone was really happy with
They
the
mad at you
seminar.
for taking them to Applebee's, bro. I knew that was going to get you some heat.
Yeah. And then, you know, then we went to, after the seminar, we went and got some Chinese food at a buffet over in Raytown. And
All right.
then, yeah, just to go to the show, like at the very start, I did the promo and I brought him out, and that was the first time I was in a ring with him, and he came up to me during his promo and said, "It's an honor for me to team with you," and like, what an incredible...
Hey, your boy got to hold the ropes for Ricky Morton.
He did.
Yeah, you know, I'm gonna get me a little bit.
So I was kind of, you know, being the nerd on the inside, and during the tag match, you know, like just being there with Ricky, my favorite wrestler of all time since I was 6 years old, and being in the main event tag match and the promotion I love just was a huge honor. And the part I remember most about the match is Ricky had Hollis pushed up against the ropes in our corner, and he tags me in. He goes, "Double elbow," because he was telling me what, you know, hey, let's hit this double elbow. And I'm like, you know, geeking out on the inside. I'm like, here's Ricky Morton saying, man, we're gonna hit this double team move on this punk Hollis Giroux, and yeah, it was awesome.
Double freaking elbow. Joe, real quick, you said you had an experience with Ricky Morton in the past. Did you referee one of his matches, or did you work a show with him?
Yeah, I didn't get to referee the match, but I got to work the show with him and Hands of Stone, Ronnie Garvin.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, which was awesome. Both of those guys are funny dudes. Ricky Morton is the type of guy that likes to pull ribs on the other workers, so, it's kind of funny. Like, one of the guys that I worked with, he told me a story about the time that he worked a show with Ricky Morton, and Ricky Morton took his bag and, hid his bag, and he couldn't find it for hours.
God. What's more frustrating than that?
I can tell you, Ricky's a ton of energy. He's just amped up the whole time, and I had to once you drop him off at the hotel or the airport or whatever, it's just weird because he's so energetic, and you got to kind of amp yourself up to be there right there with him. So,
well, I got to ask this, and then obviously there are certain trade secrets that it should always stay kind of behind the curtain in pro wrestling, but you've been to quite a few seminars. You've done, I think you did one with Bob Evans. Yeah. You did this one with Ricky. You've done a few others, right?
I've done 2 with Bob Evans, and I did the Ricky one.
The Ricky one, right. So as you continue to evolve within your career, I'm sure you're going to continue to try to do those seminars. I'm curious, what was one thing that you actually can share with us here on the Wrestle Talk podcast? By the way, we always love when you guys call in. That number, once again, if somebody could do me a favor and type this out, 657-383-1521. Again, that's 657-383-1521. What was one thing, maybe not even during the seminar, in that time that you spent with him, that really stuck with you? Either it could have been maybe just a joke that he told you, or maybe a lesson pertaining to pro wrestling, or maybe even a life lesson that you feel maybe you got from this weekend from being able to hang out with one of your heroes.
So I remember this thing he says. He goes, "It's not what you do, it's how you do it." And, you can go out there and do all the moves in the world that you want to do, but if you're not connecting with the people, what are you really doing it for? When I did that tag match with Ricky, one thing I really tried to do was to kind of slow down, soak it all in, think about what I'm doing. So often in that ring, it's boom, 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 just, we do this and we do that, and we do that, and we just go one thing to the next. And I really try to really put that psychology in there for me, where I'm not just 100 miles an hour. I'm kind of taking my time and being a little patient out there. So Ricky kind of got me to do that a little bit.
Dude, that's awesome. I love to hear that. And the fact that you had the wherewithal to slow down and kind of not necessarily stop and smell the roses, but enjoy the moment, I think that says a lot about you. You've probably come a long way since you first started training. My follow-up question to this is, during the show, a lot of different things happened. We saw Rene issue an open challenge to everybody. The realist Calvin Aldridge came out, and you accepted the challenge. He inevitably won. And then we obviously saw Derek Stone competing for the Kansas City Championship, which was absolutely huge. Obviously, Derek Stone's a guy that's been known in this area for a very, very long time. Gave the Marksman probably his biggest challenge to date, with all due respect to everybody who's ever competed against the Marksman. So I'm going to tell you guys one thing. A lot of big things happened at this show. It's called Wrestling for Pets, where all the profits that were earned by KCXW went to Midwest Animal Rescue in Raytown, Missouri, a definite worthwhile cause out in Raytown. Here's what I wanted to ask you about, something that didn't necessarily involve you, but I know you'll have thoughts. So your old buddy, Cornelius Weaverstone, and his guy, Hype Man Pinky, decided to flip the script on the Force. And everybody was shocked. I saw a couple of incredible moments during the show. This was definitely one of the top 3 moments of the night, something that people will walk away with and remember for a very long time. A guy that was directly affected by this, even though you weren't directly involved, was you. And I gotta know, man, how did you take that? Because you guys just won the championship. Now all of a sudden the team is broken up.
So I've yet to speak on record about this, but Cornelius Weaverstone has been my closest friend in the wrestling business. We started wrestling school just a few days apart. Everyone's seen us team up at KCXW shows. If KCXW had some tag team belts, we would have been killing it. We've been such close friends this whole time. And I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked that this has happened. I haven't had a chance to talk with him. I reached out to him. I made the phone call, and of course it went unanswered. I'm just, Captain Shabam brought both of us in as green rookies, as raw talents, to be a member of the Force and to do all the things necessary to win the Season of Excellence championship. And we did that. So it's like now that we've, hit the peak that you can do as a member of the Force, it's like he's just decided he doesn't need us anymore.
He was just crying. He was like, when I did this, no one came out and did that. And I'm like, dude, you're a freaking champion. Like, what are you crying about? I mean, I don't know. Something must have got into Weaverstone, because that's not the guy that I'm used to seeing. I mean, I've been seeing him in action for well over a year, and this is the first that I've ever seen him show this side of himself. And honestly, I thought it was a little bit embarrassing. I think it was utterly disrespectful to all his teammates, and obviously very disrespectful to all the fans that went out there to support him.
He was one of our most popular guys. I mean, he's such a talented guy in the ring, and we've worked together so much and helped each other. And to just have him just slap me in the face like this and slap Shabam in the face like this.
He literally slapped him in the face.
Yeah.
What the hell was that about?
And he picked a night to do it where I'm obviously distracted by my biggest match ever. He knew I wasn't going to be there to make that save because I'm with Ricky in the back and we're getting ready for our match. So I'm really disappointed. And Hype Man Pinky, I mean, this guy's walked me to the ring for the past year. And he's always been there. He's been a very important member of the Force. He's been our hype man, and that's just as shocking to me. And it just feels like we've been betrayed by way too many people.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. So, Joe, I'm going to have you jump in here one last time. I know we got to get in the shoot and shout before we hit the break. So, did you have any last questions or comments for the Bully Smasher, Shannon Reed?
I would have to say my last question before we get into the shoot and shout is, what do you hope that the fans get out of seeing a Bully Smasher match?
So, when I get in that ring, I work hard. I put all of my heart into it. It makes me feel good when KCXW fans tell me, man, I really loved your match tonight, or we really like it when you're part of the show. Like I want them to have a good time. I want them to watch me in the ring and realize this is a guy that's working hard. He's putting everything into it that he has. And in KCXW, I'm different than a lot of the guys. You go to some of these independent promotions and you find 10 guys that look like me. In KCXW, really don't have that. I'm unique. I stand out. I'm different from everybody else, and it kind of gives a good feeling that I'm my own unique individual. So, yeah, I love the KCXW fans.
No doubt. Everybody does need to see a Bully Smasher match. Thank you, Drew, for commenting that. All right, Joe. Well, that's a great closeout question. And we actually do have a gentleman named David, who I think you're familiar with, that's asking who is next for Bully. But let me piggyback on that question and ask you this. Who is next for the Bully, and what's it going to take to get you back in front of the Kansas City champion, the Marksman?
So, a lot of people may forget this, but I own a pinfall victory over the Marksman in KCXW.
Wait, a singles? Or was it a tag?
Tag.
Yeah, because they are very much touting the fact that he's not lost a one-on-one match. He's fought Kyle King, Jay Savage, Weaverstone, yourself, Donovan Dijak. Very, very talented individuals.
Yeah, so me and Marksman, we've battled a few times. We had a flag match, and then we had a Survivor Series elimination match. I would love that match. Marksman's a guy that he's a real tough guy, and he's a bully. And I know how to handle him, and we've gone back and forth, and it's kind of been indecisive as to who the better man is. He's got the belt, so he's technically the better man right now. But
what's the old saying? To be the man,
you got to beat the man.
That's right.
So he's the man right now, and I'll give him props. Hollis Giroux, JC Thunder, I'd love another shot at those guys. Hollis is, he rubbed me the wrong way at the Comic-Con when he threw that powder in my face.
And the cigar in my face.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, so Hollis is a guy I'm always going to be down to wrestle and fight. So
he is the new number one contender, right?
Yeah, Hollis is the number one contender, so he's going to wrestle Marksman for the belt at the next show. And that's always a great match because they're very, very talented guys. But yeah, there's going to be a lot of us waiting in the wings to see who wins that match.
Another quick question for you. We saw during the show the Sarge suffered an unfortunate injury. Can you give us an update on the Sarge?
So Sarge, he got knocked out and he got a concussion and he's waiting to get cleared to come back to the ring. You know, Sarge is all heart and determination.
Love that dude.
And I talked to him at length on the phone a couple days afterward, and he can't wait to get back in there. You know, he feels like he had Hollis Giroux's number, and it was just an unfortunate kind of circumstance that cost him his shot at victory.
No doubt. And then, I did have one last question. So you're there at the training center at Raytown, the XWC, on a weekly basis, working and training on top of what you do for a living outside of that. You've got to have noticed that there's a lot of young bucks in there. I mean, you're talking Calvin Aldridge, you're talking Max Wolf, you're talking Tyler Gray, James Moore. I could just keep going. Jack Jackson, Rene. I mean, I could keep going down the list of all these young talents. That is kind of like the next generation of trainees at XWC. Any of those that you can point to and go, in 2018, look out for that guy or girl?
James Moore. James Moore
defeated Camaro Jackson.
Yeah, and that was a really good match.
Man.
And I hope to see Jackson back in KCXW. So
he's a jerk though. Kind of a jerk.
So James Moore, I'm really high on because he's got a really good, humble attitude. He's an excellent athlete, and I would really like to see him go far. And then we got Rene, who's really killing it as one of our female wrestlers. I've wrestled Calvin Aldridge before. We wrestled in Illinois a couple of months ago on a Strictly Insane Pro Wrestling show, and he's talented as well. So all those guys, Jack Jackson's a heck of an athlete. We got 2017 really saw the Extreme Wrestling Center get hit with some really good talent.
No doubt. And then I guess my final question, referring to talent, is what are your thoughts on one Professor Crapel?
Professor Crapel. He's eccentric. He's annoying. He's a character.
Oh, Maverick West. I forgot to mention Maverick West as one of the young talents. Yes, he is included in that. But yeah, continue.
Yeah, so I got to spend some time with Maverick West. We road tripped to Illinois a couple months ago, and I like what I see from him too. He's got kind of that Rick Steiner kind of.
He does.
Yeah, kind of like a high school wrestler.
He's built like a little tank too, dude.
Yeah, so I like him too. He's got a good attitude. And,
Bobby West.
And he stands right out there.
There's no doubt about it.
Bobby West, yeah.
Man, we could keep going forever, no doubt about it. But listen, we got to get in to the way that we close out the first hour of every single show, Bully Smasher, and that is our Shoot and Shout segment. Have you ever heard the Shoot and Shout segment?
I have, but remind me.
Absolutely. So here's what we do. It's a bit of a therapeutic session, okay? Joe, you know all about this, right? So we ask our guests to join us in expressing any frustration that they may be experiencing right now, whether it be wrestling related or not. That's why we call it the Shoot and Shout. So we give you 30 to 45 seconds to put it all on the table, to say it with your chest. And that way, by the time we're all said and done, you feel really good. You left it, you put it behind you, whatever frustration you may be experiencing. Recently, I was very frustrated because I bought a potato chip bag for $4, but only got about $1 worth of chips. It was mostly air. I was quite frustrated by that. But once we did Shoot and Shout, I felt better. You feel up to it?
Yes.
Let's do it. All right, Nightmare Jones, cue up the Shoot and Shout music, baby. Let's get into it. Professor Crapel scares Money Man.
It's just one of those days when you don't want to wake up. Every day everybody sucks.
Listen while I do. So he killed me every show.
And if you wish to
talking about old school.
We gotta get some hair bands on here.
Some hair bands? We'll do it. Pew pew. All right, Nightmare Jones, do you want to go first tonight, buddy?
Sure, I will go first tonight. Now, my Shoot and Shout has nothing to do with professional wrestling.
Okay.
Alright. What in the hell is wrong with kids today? They have a challenge right now where kids are eating Tide pods. They are eating laundry detergent. What in the hell is wrong with people? You know, when I grew up, challenges were like, you know, nothing that you could literally hurt yourself. But now you got challenges for you douse yourself with lighter fluid and set yourself on fire. You got challenges where you put salt on your arm with ice, give yourself 3rd-degree burns. What the hell is wrong with people? The scariest part about it is these people that are doing the Tide Pod challenges, they are our future. Think about that one.
So all these kids that are eating those things, they need to buy some tickets to KCXW shows and get off the streets.
Get them off the streets.
Parents, if you're listening, get your kids in those shows so you know where they are.
No doubt about it. All right, Shannon, I'm going to go ahead and let you go next. What is it right now that is chapping your ass?
All right, well, one of the things is I have a shepherd mix. Her name is Peanut. We got from Wayside Waifs. So I go out and I buy this $200 dog palace, this insulated dog palace. Now,
dog palace?
Right, that's what it's called. So
if I ever go homeless, promise you'll let me stay in the dog palace.
Right. Yeah,
okay.
I'll let you do that. So now in the really cold weather now, of course, we keep her inside. But I bought this thing. I put it together. And I've had dogs before that love these things. So I put it together, and she never goes in it. I put her in there, and she comes right out. And so it just sits out there now collecting icicles while she's warm inside. Now, like I said, she'd be inside anyway. But, man, Peanut is really frustrating right now. And also, she follows you everywhere, and she doesn't listen to a thing you say. So I got to work on training this dog a little bit.
Oh, man, Shannon's shooting on his old puppy. What if things come to today? Well, listen, Joe, honestly, bro, I'm having a hard time thinking of a shoot and shout, man, because let me tell you something. I just had such a tremendous weekend, dude. Got to ring announce and commentate for KCXW. Had the time of my life. But I will say this, bro. I will say this. The damn lines at the fast food restaurant down from my house, dude, are absolutely insane. Here's what I'm trying to figure out. If you got a van full of people, it's you, it's Coco, it's Shaniqua, Shantea, Sandra, Timmy, Tommy. You got 18 people in the van you want to feed. Get your ass out, get in the damn restaurant. I mean, for God's sakes, I got a 30-minute lunch break. Your boy's got to get a chicken sandwich and an orange soda in his system so he can survive the freaking day so I can be here to do Wrestle Talk. But no, some asshole wants to place an order for 18 people at McDonald's and take up pretty much my whole damn break. I'm rushing back to work. I'm stuffing my face, driving with a damn chicken sandwich in one hand and a french fry in the other, making everybody potentially have a car accident because some asshole couldn't be bothered to walk in the damn restaurant and order their food. Dude, I'm so sick and tired of these people. You already know around lunchtime there's going to be like 20 people in the drive-thru. There's always that one person who seems to want everything on the menu, or they can't decide. Listen, the McDonald's menu doesn't really change that much. If it does, feel free to look it up online. There's no reason why you should pull up to the drive-thru and not already know what you want. Those people, Joe, drive me crazy. Crazy, I tell you. That's my shoot and shout for today. Can you relate?
Yeah, can I tell you one more?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so after the show on Saturday, me and Ricky went to McDonald's over in Platte City where I live. So we're in line at McDonald's for like literally 20 minutes. And
at midnight?
Yeah,
what the hell?
Yeah, it was like 11 o'clock. And so Ricky's just like, he's just getting so like, he's like, man, what's taking so long? And I keep being like, well, we can go somewhere else. He's like, nah, man, we'll wait. And then finally he's like, yeah, finally let's go to another place. So we go to Burger King because he wants Burger King. So he orders his food and I tell him, you know, Ricky, we got to make sure we really get that honey mustard with the chicken nuggets because they're notorious here for forgetting to put the honey mustard in the bag.
They forget.
Yeah, so of course we get the bag of food and I asked the lady, hey, did you put the honey mustard in there? She goes, oh, no, let me get that real quick. So she puts it in the bag. Now, Ricky's the only one that got food here, right? So I drop him off at the hotel because I wanted Wendy's. I didn't want Burger King. So I go to Wendy's. They're closed. I go back to Burger King. I order some nuggets for myself with barbecue sauce. I go to the window. She gives me my bag, says, have a good night. I said, hey, did you get my barbecue sauce? Oh, hold on just like a second. Let me get that for you. So the same lady in a 10-minute period forgot 2 sauces.
Hey, Joe, I want to know, what does Iron Sheik think about that, bro? Because let me tell you something. Both Shannon and I pissed off about the damn drive-thru. I'm telling you right now. Sheiky, are you there? Sheiky.
Sheiky's on a time delay tonight.
Bullshit.
There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, hey, I appreciate that, Joe. Well, folks, that concludes our time tonight with the Bully Smasher, Shannon Reed, one of the hardest working and most genuine people in the wrestling business today. He is open for bookings. Second Saturday every month, though. KCXW is where you can catch him. But if you're looking for a talent that will not disappoint, a man that will put fans in some seats and keep them wanting more, you're going to have to read this, ladies and gentlemen. Shannon Reed, the Bully Smasher. Last quick question on your way out the door, bro. The Bully Smasher thing, where does it come from?
So, me in my personal life, I've always been anti-bully, and that's something a lot of people feel, but in my other life, I'm a registered nurse. I work a lot with psychiatric patients, and I've been a nursing manager. And one thing that's always been a pet peeve of mine is any time that someone's being bullied. There's a lot of strong personalities out there, and I don't like it when people that are a little more meager get kind of shut down by those. So I always have stood up for people that don't stand up for themselves. I remember one time years ago, I worked at St. Luke's on mental health, and there was a group of patients that were harassing another patient, and I just went up and just kind of let them all have it. Like, I don't like that stuff. So it's kind of an extension. I don't like anybody to feel put down or bullied, and that's kind of like what I do in KCXW. The guys that break the rules, the guys that cheat, the guys that attack people, those are the guys I want to go after. That's what the Bully Smasher is all about.
Absolutely wonderful. Well, Shannon, it's been both an honor and a pleasure to have you on the show, man. You're our second ever in-studio guest. Obviously, I mean, you were watching the Facebook Live. People are going nuts. Hopefully by next Wednesday, we'll be somewhere between 1,000 and 1,200 listens. Awesome. Wrestle Talk is doing big things. 27 countries, baby. So, guys, promoters, we know you all watch the show. Jerry Bostic, Jim Yunt, Major Bays, and Matt Jackson, they all watch the show. Jordan Smiley, David Catton. If you guys are looking for a damn great talent, this guy right here, the Bully Smasher, is ready to put in work. And if you got any bullies walking around your neighborhood, you guys know to call. No doubt. You got a Pro Wrestling Tees deal?
Yeah, ProWrestlingTees.com/Shannon Reed.
You got to show off that sweater. That's pretty sweet.
These aren't for sale, unfortunately, but I used to have shirts at the shows, but I sold out of all of them, and I haven't got any more made. So,
good problem to have.
Right. So go to www.ProWrestlingTees.com/Shannon Reed.
/Shannon Reed. All right, Nightmare Jones, take us to break. We'll be back with the world's greatest fantasy wrestling group, the FWWC.
Like an hour drive.
Here comes the smasher, the demolition, walking disaster, pain and destruction is all in a can destroy you, nothing will find you, nothing to hide, the devil will get you, pain and destruction, all in a the
Hey, wrestling fans, Ricky the Dragon Steamboat talking at you, and you're listening to the Wrestle Talk Podcast.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are back once again. What a great freaking great song. Demolition, awesome song. You can never go wrong with that song. My goodness, the lines are blowing up for the FWWC segment. We will try our best to get everybody on. Oh my goodness. Rene, are you with me?
I am here, Nightmare Jones. Let me tell you, man, thank you so very much, Bully Smasher Shannon Reed, for joining us. Truly a good time to have such a kind-hearted individual in the studio. Joe, as far as I'm concerned, man, we're 2-0 as far as in-studio guests, man. Kurganin was absolutely fantastic. Shannon Reed was fantastic. Let us know, ladies and gentlemen, who you would like to see live in studio on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Shoot them a tweet, shoot them a Facebook. Let's see if we can get that coordinated. You know what, Joe? Because whenever we do these live in-studio interviews, bro, people really seem to dig it, bro. Really seem to dig it. So I say, hey, why not keep doing it? If the people want to see it, the Wrestle Talk family wants to see it, we should keep on doing it. What do you say?
Absolutely. We should just keep on doing it. It seems to work. But my question is, when are you going to get Ozzy Gallagher on there?
Oh my goodness, seriously? Seriously? Why are we talking about Ozzy Gallagher right now, man? I have no idea why we're talking about Ozzy Gallagher, because it is time for the world's greatest fantasy wrestling group. We got a couple of minutes here before Big Daddy P comes on, and we got a bunch of phone lines. Ooh, David Catton studio. That would be a good time. Let's see if we can't get that set up. But anywho, Nightmare Jones, the phone lines are absolutely out of control. Let's start making our way down the list and see who we got on hold.
Absolutely. All right. The first person we got coming on is a first-time caller from the FWWC. He has not called in before. He is definitely making a name for himself, and that is the one, the only Damien. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Woohoo!
Thank you.
Uh-oh. Things are about to get a little creepy. What's up, Damien?
What's up, Rene?
Thank you for being on the show, sir. You are new to the FWWC, but you've already made a tremendous impact. Tell us a little bit more about why you're here.
I'm here because I find it interesting to inflict pain on everybody that comes in my way. And I just...
Damien, are you there? Nightmare Jones, did we lose Damien? Nightmare? What in the heck's going on here? The weird guy comes on and all of a sudden we start having connection issues? What's going on? Okay. Not really sure what the deal is, guys. I mean, Damien guy came on, you heard him, asked him a question, and all of a sudden, we lost him. See if we can't get this fixed. Maybe it was me, who knows? Reestablish the connection, and we'll get him back on. Let's see here. It is a conspiracy, exactly. I just think Damien didn't want to answer any of the hard questions.
Absolutely.
I guess it was me.
Rene, what did you think about all that, Rene? Him attacking Funky Flex and whatnot?
Well, bro, I had a huge problem with that because Funky Flex is one of the top superstars here in the FWC. Yes, he may not be holding a title right now, but he was our UXT champion before the brand split. So I'm not necessarily keen on a new superstar attacking a veteran, because those veterans have proven that as long as they're here, they're going to keep producing and entertaining the FWC. But I will say this. Damien is not one of those guys that pops up for a day and then disappears. I mean, he is literally here every single day, cutting promos, revving up for matches, causing controversy. For that reason, I got to say I appreciate the guy. But at the same time, attacking guys when they're not looking, hitting them from behind, there's something about that doesn't necessarily sit well with me. But at this point, it seems to be working out pretty well for him, because he was nearly picked up in our recent FWWC Pick'em. He was about this close from getting picked up. So as far as I'm concerned, Damien should just keep up what he's doing, because he's definitely making an impact in the FWWC. Does that sound good, Nightmare Jones? Is that a fair response?
That's good to me.
All right, cool. Who do we got up next, man?
Awesome. Next, ladies and gentlemen, we got a man that called into the show last to the FWWC tonight. He had a couple of words with a couple people, and Mr. Battlecat, welcome to the show, my friend.
Yes. I'm glad to be on after what happened last time. You know, I waited, and you know, Team Blue should have got 2 points for that, not just one, because I don't know, felt connection. I don't know what happened, but I'm here now, and I'm thankful for that.
No doubt. So what's on your mind tonight, Battlecat?
Well, the guy that y'all was just talking to, this little demon child, yeah, he burned down my jungle Monday night, and so I'm not in a good mood right now. So I just want to tell the little Hellcat, you know, or should I say, I want to tell, you know, Satan's little demon that next week he's going to meet the Hellcat. And after I'm done with him, I'm going to send his ass straight to hell, and he's going to meet Satan himself.
I totally understand that. My question is, Battlecat, you've been here for a long time. You've had a ton of success. Why waste your time with a newcomer like Damien?
Well, eventually, everyone's got to learn their way. And they got to learn what to do, what not to do, who to mess with, who not to mess with. And unfortunately, Battlecat's not a person to be messed with around here. So now I'm going to have to teach this little kid a lesson. I know it's stepping below my standards, but somebody's got to teach the kid something.
Fair enough. Well, hey, one thing we know for sure about the Battlecat is that you're always ready to rumble in the jungle. You got anything else on your mind before we let you go tonight, Battlecat?
Yeah, about this whole little Intercontinental Championship controversy that's going on.
Interesting.
You know,
what are your thoughts on that?
I feel like it's like this, okay? It was put out on the market. Team Red had an opportunity to get it. They did it. And so my GM, Mr. Corbin Slater, rightfully picked it up. And it goes well with Team Blue, seeing that we have the FHC already and the Intercontinental Championship. It's like a Money in the Bank contract. They go hand in hand, right?
Right.
So my thing is, if that's the case, how was Corbin Slater wrong for getting it when clearly he wasn't, because Arden Murphy had a chance and he passed up on it? That's what people fail to realize.
You know what, Battlecat, I can't necessarily disagree with that point. I think you hit it right on the head. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's not about taking theories. It's not about taking his opportunity away or taking Funky's opportunity away. Hey, it happened because of their GM. They need to sit down with Arden Murphy and they need to figure that shit out, because, again, that was on Arden. That was not on Corbin Slater. All right. Well, hey, listen. I appreciate that. I'm actually going to follow up what you said with by asking Nightmare Joyce a question, but we do appreciate you joining us, Battlecat. We hope to hear you again back on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Nightmare Jones, let me throw to you real quick because you're a member of Team Red, and you had some thoughts concerning this whole Intercontinental Championship situation. Do you agree or disagree with Battle Cat?
It's my thoughts are this. We were under the assumption that if Alden Murphy picked up Theory, he held the Intercontinental Championship. That is what our understanding was. And all of a sudden, the Intercontinental Championship is up for grabs and is picked up by Corbin Slater, and it kind of screwed up a couple plans that we had on the Red brand and whatnot. But it's in the past. Now we move forward like we do everything else in the FWWC.
No doubt about it. And before we go to the next call, let me just say this. Nightmare Jones, this seems to be working out pretty much in the favor of everybody. Blue now has the Intercontinental Championship. Red now has the Universal Championship. And from what I understand, there's going to be a fatal four-way for the FWWC Universal Championship at Royal Rumble, which you happen to be involved in. Is that right?
That is true. It's going to be me against Tank Westbrook, against Theory, against Funky Flex.
Man, that's going to be good stuff.
I am do my best to make sure that Nightmare Jones once again comes out the winner of this match, and I can call myself not only the first time United States champion, but the first ever Universal champion as well.
Fair enough. Well, listen.
It only solidifies.
Sorry about that, Joe. Well, listen, I'm looking at the clock, man, and to be honest with you, I want to get a couple more callers in before we get Big Daddy P and the Agents of Chaos. So who do we got coming up next, man?
Next we got coming up is a man that goes by the name of Mr. Douglas James. Welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, how's it going, Nightmare Jones? How's it going, Night Owl?
What is going on, sir? Great to have you.
Now, Mr. James, you are a part of the Red brand. What were your thoughts on the whole Intercontinental Championship deal?
My thoughts on it are simply this, and I've stayed a little bit quieter on it for a reason. And people are trying to use what El Jefe or El Mata or the BOD, they're trying to use what he said against him. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm Red brand through and through. Douglas James bleeds red. I've made that very clear. But people are twisting the BOD's words. What the BOD said wasn't that if Theory gets drafted to the Red brand, that he brings with him the Intercontinental Championship. What the BOD actually said is that whoever drafts Theory, in a way, might control the fate of the Intercontinental Championship.
Thank you.
Those words.
Thank you, Douglas James. Finally,
to be honest,
somebody. Hold on a minute now.
I don't know why anybody is complaining.
Finally,
we picked up
Nightmare
a more prestigious championship, a higher ranked championship.
I'm telling you right now.
Title.
I'm telling you right now, Douglas James. Finally, someone who is paying attention. You are correct, sir. Thank you for actually going back and listening to what the BOD said. Potentially is the key. And not only was potentially the word that was used, the Red brand now has the benefit and the honor of inaugurating our Universal Championship. Fortunately, this is pretty much all water under the bridge, but let's just be honest, folks. Douglas James is about the only person that really took the time to go back and listen to what the BOD said, and sir, you hit it right on the head. Congratulations. That is why your career is taking off here in the FWWC.
Thank you, Night Owl. Thank you.
A pleasure. All right. Well, Douglas James, we hate to cut you short, but we got a couple more callers, and we got Big Daddy P coming up in just a few moments. Thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you still for calling in. Oh my goodness, this should be interesting. This should be interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, we have the blue brand, General Manager Corbin Slater on the line. What is going on, my friend?
Mr. Slater.
How's it going?
Good evening, sir.
Now I do have to say, good evening. I do have to say that, Douglas James wasn't the only person who listened to that message that was played in Theory's promo, and he's talking about facts when exactly brought that up in the comments, and no one seemed to care to even focus on it. Like I said, I'm just doing my job. I'm doing what is best for business. Grabbing the IC title is 100% best for business because we were behind. We were behind 1 point behind Red Brand. We got to do anything we can to ally with anybody we possibly can find to ally with to get ahead of Red Brand, because we know we're putting the work in and we're out producing them night in, night out. We just have to make other people believe that now.
Well, let me ask you this question, Corbin Slater. I think it's something that's been on everyone's mind. Did you intentionally take the Intercontinental Championship away from Red Brand because you knew that it would create this amount of controversy?
Like I said before, I did not intentionally take it away because of this controversy. Like I said, I was not aware of this controversy beforehand. There was promos and promos and promos. Apparently they've been building this for months and months and months, but I'll be honest with you, I haven't seen it. I haven't heard any mention of the IC title. I haven't heard anybody making a big deal about the IC title. So I found an opportunity, and I took it like the businessman that I am.
And a great businessman you are, as well as is Arden Murphy, who took advantage of the opportunity and picked up some pretty good talent. As you look across the building or the office or wherever it is that you guys do your business, Corbin Slater, is there anything that Arden Murphy did that you can maybe tip your hat about? Because I know this is a competition and you're not in the business of making Red Brand look good, but if we're being honest, there had to be at least one move that he made that you said, you know what, that wasn't a bad move. Is there anything that he did that made you kind of come to that conclusion?
Well, one move, in particular, was Hardcore Sis. There's someone that we had our eye on in the blue brand as picking up. It was actually my next pick. He literally picked her right before I could grab her. But she actually came to me and said that Arden Murphy doesn't respect me. Arden Murphy doesn't want me on Red Brand. I want to be on Blue Brand. And so I was setting her up, getting her these matches, having her prove herself. And just when the time was right, he picked possibly the biggest sleeper in the pick'em. So that's my hats off to Arden Murphy.
No doubt about it. All right, Corbin Slater, we do have two other callers that want to come on. So before we let you go, any closing thoughts to either your Blue Brand roster or maybe anybody over on the Red who may be doubting your guys' ability to win round 2 of the FWWC brand battle?
Well, if anybody wants to doubt us, you should also know to never count out Blue Brand. You might knock us down, but you'll never kill us. You'll never bury us. We're going to keep on going as hard as we ever have to make sure Red Brand does not know what the hell hit him. And as far as everybody else on the Blue Brand, I said this recently. I'm going to reiterate it so everyone can hear it. Be ready for a huge announcement coming up in the next couple days, because it's going to be big for Royal Rumble. We have some huge matches coming up for Royal Rumble, but right after Royal Rumble is going to be one of the biggest announcements ever made since this brand split happened. You're not going to want to miss it.
No doubt about it. All right, well, thank you, Corbin Slater. We're going to bring two men on at the same time. Two guys that have been in hold for quite a while. We do have to get to the Agents of Chaos, ladies and gentlemen. Dynamo Pro's very own Agents of Chaos. But before we do that, let's go ahead and bring on Kronos, the Titan of Time, and a luchador de Kansas City, and we will start off with a luchador de Kansas City. Sir, make your statement. Tell us what's on your mind tonight.
How's it going, everybody?
Woo!
Just wanted to say, Monday Night Raw. I was in a Undisputed Legends qualifying match, and it was against Hardcore Haas, someone that I've fought many times last year, and this time I managed to take him down and earn my spot for the Undisputed Legends Championship match at the Royal Rumble.
Congratulations.
And I tell you what, thank you, and I tell you what, hard work does pay off after so many months.
Well, one quick question for you. You defeated Hardcore Haas. Do you think that has anything to do with what he ended up doing when he attacked Hardcore Sis?
Oh, well, I don't know anything about that. That's family business for them. So hopefully, whatever family business they have, they could probably squabble it and squash it and get back to work.
Well, no doubt about it. Well, we appreciate your time, Luchador. Best of luck to you at the Royal Rumble. Will you be at Esports Bar and Gaming Lounge on the 28th, hosted by the Wrestle Talk podcast, sir? Yes or no?
Yes, I will be there. As long as the drinks are good and the games are playing real good ones, I'll be there.
Boom. And if you can find yourself a partner, be sure to enter the WWE 2K18 Tag Team Tournament. Kronos, come on in and close out the segment for us, because we are getting ready to throw to the Agents of Chaos.
Well, I got to say this. Every Wednesday, I check to listen to the Wrestle Talk podcast with Joe and Rene. It's always top notch. Kudos to you all. Kudos.
Thank you, Kronos.
Now, on the other hand, Monday night, FWC tonight, heard some trash. I mean, complete blatant trash. After I went through a cruel match with Deal, called in to get on the FWC tonight to trash by some outsiders. I'll tell these to this out. Don't call in to embarrass yourself. Point blank, FWC is the best industry period out there.
Period.
Your number one contender. FHC.
Period. Point blank. Kronos, I got one quick question for you, because we do got to get to the Agents of Chaos. You, sir, defeated the Heel Deal and are now moving on to compete against the champion, Richard Priest, for the FWC Heavyweight Championship. Are you ready to go up against one of the best men in the business today?
Every opportunity I get to go up against the best in the business is always a fantastic, well-prepared, well-thought-out opportunity. I cannot wait. Royal Rumble at Esports Bar. Carlos will be in the house. Carlos will be enjoying the drinks and the food and the games and enjoying an excellent pay-per-view. So if you're not in Kansas City, find your way to get here, because it's technically not in Kansas City, it's in Shawnee, Kansas. So come on down, hang out with us, the FWC Wrestle Talk podcast. We all going to be in the building.
No doubt about it. Thank you, Kronos, for calling in. It is always an honor and a pleasure, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Take it easy. Nightmare Jones, you know we always love the FWWC segment. They bring the passion, they bring the energy, and when it's time to show up, they show up. That's right, we do a 15 to 20-minute segment with them every single week right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast with Joe and Rene. We're getting ready to bring on the breaking news, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do have some breaking news. Okay, this just came in. I just got this email. It states, this Saturday night at Dynamo Pros Wrestling's A New Beginning event, the Dynamo Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championships will be defended as the Dynamo Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the Agents of Chaos, will defend against Ricky Rodriguez and Outcast.
Wow, bro. Let me tell you something, Joe. listen, I remember Outcast when he used to team up with Shorty Biggs. Outcast is a former D1 champion, former Dynamo Pro Tag Team champion. Don't know too much about Ricky yet, but I'm sure if he's teaming up with Outcast, he's a very, very worthy talent. And then you're talking about the Agents of Chaos who captured the Tag Team Championships back in October from Straps Down University. This is a huge deal, and we are actually getting ready to bring on the Agents of Chaos, Nightmare Jones. But before we do, I have to do this. I gotta thank Big Daddy P. He's usually here between 8:25 and 8:30 doing the snippets of truth. But as you guys know, Perry has been a little bit under the weather. So on his behalf, allow me to take a moment to say a quick prayer for Curtis Hanslick, who is just wrapping up a divorce situation. He had his last court date, I believe, today. And it is all said and done. He's got all that coordinated. So we pray to God that everything from this point forward is smooth concerning him and his children. Also, the Hulkster, Alan Reed, an avid listener of the Wrestle Talk podcast, basically he's asking for a prayer for a friend of his whose parents were recently admitted into the hospital, I believe due to a very serious car accident. And then last but not least, our buddy Jay Hollywood, one of our wonderful sponsors over at It's Me Speaking to You and the Conspiracy Farm. Big things going on for Jay Hollywood. The guy's truly an inspiration and a mentor to us here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. He's got something really, really big coming up next week, and he's just asking that you guys send prayers and good vibes to him because he wants this to work out. So thank you, God, for letting us do the Wrestle Talk podcast, and thank all of you for being here as members of the Wrestle Talk family. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that you've all been waiting for has finally arrived. That's right, our second featured guest of the evening are on hold, ready to come on, and I am talking about your current, reigning, defending Dynamo Pro Tag Team Champions. Intern Timmy, get the music ready. The Agents of Chaos. Boom.
What is going on? Welcome to the show.
Hello, hello.
Hey, hey.
Welcome, gentlemen.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey, man. If we were doing any better, we'd be Dynamo Pro Tag Team Champs. You hear what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hear you, man. I hear you.
All right, guys. Well, listen, thank you for coming on the show for the very first time. Definitely a long overdue visit to the Wrestle Talk podcast. For those who haven't seen you guys in action, shame on them. Why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I'm Victor.
I'm Xavier.
And we are the Agents of Chaos.
Very nice. Guys, well, let me start off by asking this question. I've seen some of your matches via YouTube. Very, very impressive. I mean, you guys have already proven that you can defeat some of the very best in the Dynamo Pro roster. When you took the championships away from the Neon Icon, Justin D'Air, and of course the valedictorian Keon Option. But tell us, man, how did this whole thing come together? I mean, you guys are definitely two guys that have varying styles, but for whatever reason, it just seems to work so perfectly. How did the Agents of Chaos come to be?
Well, you want to tell them a story? You want me to?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'll go for it. So, a while back, Xavier and I, being such big wrestling fans we were, we've always wanted to break into it, but as you can tell from some of the videos, there's a little bit of a height and weight disadvantage between the two of us.
No doubt.
So, well, hey now. Yeah, mostly weight. Yeah, okay, thanks.
Gotcha.
We had to come up with something different. I mean, if you watch a lot of the tag team matches that are either on TV or on the indie circuit, there's guys that are almost the same height and weight, almost
completely the same to each other, and you look at us, and it's a complete opposite. So it's basically a big guy with a battering ram on his team, because that's basically what I use him for, is a battering ram. So it's a different style. It's something that we try to perfect to show that, hey, it doesn't have to be two 6'3", 260-pound buffed up guys. It can be maybe a 6'2" and a 5'11" guy that's half his weight that can still take on anyone and still come out victorious.
And it also doesn't have to be a bulldozer and a high flyer. I don't know if you've noticed, but very rarely do I leave my feet. So the way our styles work is we kind of change it up from what you are used to seeing, and we pretty much give you what you want to see. We kind of take our roots back old school with the ground and pound. So
yeah, and everyone can perfect their flips and everything else. We'll worry about keeping the people on the ground and taking the air out of them so they can't fight anymore. So, and that's how we come out victorious.
No doubt about it. And well, I got to ask this question. I mean, is that part of why you guys have had so much success? I mean, people see you, they think, hey, there's the big bulldozer, and then there's the high flyer, like you said, Xavier. But once they actually get into the ring with you and the bell rings, they're expecting that, but then they get something completely different. Would you say that has played a big part in getting you guys to where you are today as Dynamo Pro Tag Team Champions?
Absolutely. I'd say coming up in the business, we've learned, mostly me, I've learned to take quite a beating.
That you have, my friend, that you have.
And Hope Big Guy here will be in the corner ready to lend a hand. But when you see a guy, slender guy of my stature, you would expect somebody who's always in the air, hardly on the ground. But then when it comes to reality, it's wow, this guy's when is he gonna get on the ropes? And to be honest, I'm probably not.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, hey, listen, when you got hands like your hands, Xavier, there's no reason to go up on the top rope, man. I seen you lay in the wood, bro, and I'll tell you for sure, I wouldn't want to be on the other side of that. That's for sure. Let me jump from that to this question, guys. Dynamo Pro has obviously been around for a good long time. Our friends Jim and Crystal do a fantastic job of providing quality entertainment to the folks of the St. Louis area and beyond. What brought you guys to Dynamo Pro Wrestling? I mean, you could have taken your talents pretty much anywhere in the world, but you decided to settle in over at Dynamo Pro Wrestling. What makes the Agents of Chaos and Dynamo Pro Wrestling such a great partnership?
There's actually going to be a name for that one. That would be Makazi.
Oh man, that's the homie.
Yeah, he's a good brother. We met him a few times at a couple of different shows, and through mutual friends and stuff like that, we all started talking. He goes, "Hey, why don't you guys come down to the training center, the dojo, one night, and kind of see how everything works?" And I will be the first one to say it. Before we really met Makazi, Xavier and I were basically a small stick of dynamite with a very large fuse that it wouldn't go off at the right time when we needed it to. We were not where we needed to be. But meeting up with Makazi and having him, show us a few different things for being a tag team, and especially with our differences as far as competitors, how we can use that to our advantage, doing that and having, Jim and Crystal and everyone seeing us progress and getting all the, the love from them, going, "Hey, you guys will be getting a lot better. Why don't you guys, come over and we'll give you a shot and we'll see how it goes from there." And basically that's how it took off, is they gave us one opportunity. So as the way we see it every time, it's a make or break, and we give it all just to make sure we get to come back. So we did that, and now we fit the current tag team champion.
Well,
and with sorry.
No, go ahead.
With it wasn't so much as trained, but it was more or less polished. We're not, exactly spring chickens in the business. We've been around a couple of years before Dynamo, but as far as when we came across Nkazi and we got down to the dojo and we start putting in more work and start polishing our techniques and our cohesiveness and, our psychology, and, Jim and Crystal, they happen to see something that they liked and they, invite us to a show, and the rest is history.
Dude, you know what? The rest is history. And you guys, like I've already stated, you guys did capture the Dynamo Pro Tag Team Championships. Now, individually, Xavier and Victor, obviously you guys grew up pro wrestling fans. How did you guys, as individuals, fall in love with the sport? And Joe, I know I'm steering your thunder a little bit, Joe, because I know you always ask this question, but how is it that you guys as individuals ended up in the professional wrestling business? Because everybody's got a unique story, right?
Yeah. Well, but before this, Xavier and I actually were on a different career path. We've been friends before wrestling. Him and I actually went on the medical emergency side. We were actually training to be firefighters and everything else. We were, totally different aspect of what we do now, and that was one of the things that we really bonded on, was the love of professional wrestling. And we actually met up with a few people. Really the one that got us into the whole aspect was Adrian Surge. He's a good friend of ours, and he basically got us into doing the whole professional scene. We never really thought that this would be something we'd jump in on, but he said, "Hey, why don't you guys ride with us one day and go to a show way back when." I can't remember where we had our first match at. It was somewhere Southern Illinois, and basically that's where we got our start, and that was our first thing. So it's basically friends that we have that really just said, "Hey, pull the trigger on it, give it a shot," and that's what we did. Anyone there? Real quiet.
No, hey guys, I apologize for that, technical difficulties and such. But let me jump back in and follow this up. You guys have obviously been around for a little while, and you know when you're in the business, you make friends, you make enemies. I know that you guys have befriended a gentleman who is already a part and a member of the Wrestle Talk family, and that is one Adrian Surge. So I'm curious, man, what are your guys' experiences with Adrian, both inside and outside the ring?
Well, we got to try and keep this, I guess, PG a little bit. So.
No, not really. No, honestly, you don't. Dude, you guys are good, man. Trust me. You guys are good.
All right. Well, all jokes aside, we met up with Adrian Surge a long time ago, right around 09.
Yeah, about 2009.
And we met up with him, and he was actually a friend of a good friend of ours, and he introduced us to him, and we kind of hit it off, and he was basically the one that says, "Hey, I'm going to start doing this. You want to try and tag along?" And we got into it with him, and he's a good brother to hang out with. I know we hang out as much as we possibly can whenever we all see each other. There was a time there where he wasn't wrestling for a while, and we were trying to do our up-and-coming thing, and there was a point where he was actually able to come back and start working again. And a couple other good buddies of ours that we started off with, Dice Patterson and Joseph Edward Weinstein of the team of Bankroll at the time, we kind of teamed up and made this group called Lineage. And it was just a four-member stable. basically, and we just ran ragged through a couple of different promotions, and finally Surge was like, "Hey, I'm coming back. Let's work this together." And we revealed that Surge was the leader of Lineage. He got everything going, so we got him back into it. And ever since then, it's on the road, off the road, hanging out, talking. He's a really good friend, really good dude. And we credit him with some of the stuff that we're able to do now, because he's a good guy, keeps you motivated. Dude's a hell of a worker. Any place that he goes, he gets the reaction, and he keeps going back. So we're really proud of him for everything he does and where he's actually gotten us. We thank him for that too. But he's a really good guy.
No, that's awesome. Yeah, and you know,
Awesome.
we feel the same way. Why don't you jump on in here, Joe?
I do have a couple questions. You gentlemen are the Dynamo Pro. you gentlemen are the Dynamo Pro Tag Team Champions. Now, out of everybody that's a tag team in Dynamo Pro, is there anybody that you think holds up to the agents of chaos?
So, that's a good question. I know there's a couple tag teams that we've gone against already. High Level Enterprise.
Hey, former Dynamo Pro tag champs themselves, correct?
Yeah, yep. I really think if back in the day when I first started looking at Dynamo, there was I know there was Outcast and Shorty, and then there was a team called the Black Hand Warriors, and I actually got to watch them a few times in person, and those guys did some magic for a while. So I think right now, other than who we've already faced, Shorty and Outcast and a couple of those guys, that would be someone I know would probably give us a run for our money.
They'd probably lose.
They'll probably lose, but they'll give us a run for our money. But it's there was a couple good tag teams that at least I'm very familiar with, that I've seen them do a lot of work on, and I know would be a good matchup with us if the whole thing was good.
Okay. Go.
Jump in, Xavier. Go ahead.
We're always accepting challenges. So if there are any teams here in the Midwest that think they could go toe-to-toe with us, then we are more than welcome to accept that challenge.
Yeah, bring it on.
Okay. Speaking of Outcast, as it was announced just a couple minutes ago before you guys came on Saturday, you guys are putting up your tag team titles against Outcast, the former D1 champion, the multi-time D1 champion and tag team champion, Outcast and Ricky Rodriguez. Outcast, he stated on a couple occasions that Ricky Rodriguez has all the potential to, with his guidance, to become a champion in Dynamo Pro. What are you all's thoughts about going into this match on Saturday?
First of all, I would agree with the Outcast. Ricky Rodriguez does in fact have a lot of potential to make a big impact, but I don't think that he's going to reach that potential against us.
Basically what the agents are saying is he's going to reach there, just not this Saturday.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty much.
And I give Outcast a lot of credit, a lot of respect too, because of what he's done with Dynamo Pro, being one of the originals, what he's accomplished, and I think it'll be an honor to step in the ring with him this Saturday. But as much as we like Outcast and we think he's a a fun dude. He's not going to be walking out Saturday with the Dynamo Pro Tag Championships. I can tell you that right now.
Awesome. Night Owl, any other questions that you have before we get into the always wonderful Wrestle Talk Family Game Show Challenge?
Hey, no doubt about it. Of course I do. Before I ask that question, though, shout out to Tyler, Dave, Adrian, Assad, James, Jeff, Aaron, Raymond, Shannon, Nathan, and everybody else checking us out on the Facebook Live. It's really been a stupendous show up to this point. And here's what I wanted to ask both of you, Xavier and Victor. So you guys are obviously showing that you stand at the top of the mountain right now at Dynamo Pro Wrestling. Does that mean that you guys are now potentially looking to expand, maybe spread your wings a little bit and see how you guys might be able to test your might in some other promotions throughout the area? Or are you guys open to traveling and potentially working elsewhere?
Oh yeah, definitely. That's something that him and I have already talked about is where can we go next? What can we do? What challenges await us? I know for quite a few years we were basically finding out who we were as a tag team and everything at Strictly Insane Pro Wrestling, ran by Sam Cosby. And I want to do a quick shout out to Sam. Do appreciate everything he's done for us, because if he didn't give us our chance there, then who we are as a tag team right now, we wouldn't be at Dynamo. We wouldn't be where we are at Dynamo. I can almost guarantee that, just because we actually had a place to go find our footwork and then realize our potential and start spreading out. And so far, we've gone Dynamo. We've had a couple matches at KCXW. So we're looking to expand out different places. I know we're willing to basically go anywhere if they would like to see us there. So we're open to basically do anything. It's always a fun time to get a message saying, hey, we want to try and book you guys at a show next Saturday at such and such place, and it gets us really excited to go around and do stuff like that. So yeah, we definitely would love to do some traveling.
Nice. Hashtag book the Agents of Chaos. Hashtag book AOC. Well, listen, guys, this interview has been a lot of fun. You guys seem like two cordial yet very hard-hitting and intimidating individuals. I'm going to say this a little reluctantly, but I actually want to challenge one of you two in tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. The question is, which one of the tag champs wants to step in to the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge squared circle against yours truly, the Night Owl?
I think we will leave that one to the Walking Wrestling Dictionary, Victor over here.
Oh, dear goodness.
Thanks, appreciate that.
Oh, really? A walking dictionary?
Play with that bus?
In that case, can I face Xavier? All right, Nightmare Jones.
Sure, I'll give it a shot.
All right, let's do it. Nightmare Jones, you know what to do, baby. Let's get into the Game Show Challenge.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to tonight's edition of the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. All contestants tonight are the Dynamo Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions, the Agents of Chaos, and the Night Owl, Rene Martinez. I will ask you a series of 3 trivia questions, and when you think you know the answer to the question, all you have to do is shout out the answer. The first person to get 2 questions correct will be the winner. In honor of Wall 25, this upcoming Monday night, tonight's caddy will be Wall 25. All the answers for tonight's Game Show Challenge will be competed at the first episode of Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
So,
let's do it.
So I answered the question. You guys shout out the answers. All right. Are you gentlemen ready?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Let's get it on.
Okay, all right. This late WWE Hall of Famer was managed by Mr. Fuji, and he appeared on the first episode of Monday Night Raw by defeating Coco B. Rare.
Mr. Perfect.
He would go on to win the 19... Yokozuna would be correct.
Damn it.
The Agents of Chaos have won. The Night Owl has 0.
So the Yoko, that was the answer. Damn, I should have known that.
On the first episode of Monday Night Raw, this WWE Hall of Fame was successfully defended the Intercontinental Championship against Max Moon.
Mr. Perfect.
Over 1 year later, he would go on. Hold on. A little over 1 year later, he would go on to have an iconic ladder match with Razor Ramon.
Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels. I got that one.
Shawn Michaels would be correct. The Night Owl has won. The Agents of Chaos have won.
All right, baby.
We are on the third question. Okay. This WWE legend and future Hall of Famer competed in the shortest match on the debut episode of Monday Night Raw, defeating Damian Demento in 2 minutes and 26 seconds. Later that year, he would wrestle Giant Gonzalez, defeat Giant Gonzalez at WrestleMania by disqualification, and the only disqualification. Undertaker would be correct. The Agents of Chaos have won the Wrestle Talk Podcast Game Show Challenge. Here is
oh my goodness.
Music.
Wow.
Yeah, all I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money on my mind, I can never get enough. Every time I step up in the building, everybody
hands go up. And they say that. And they say that. Oh my goodness. Let me say something. Real quick. Nightmare Jones, you and Luke Roberts, every single time I get an opportunity to win, you guys set me up, man. How was I supposed to know? Come on, man. Really? You hit the crybaby music on me? That's fine. You know, it's okay. I lost to a couple of guys that are champions. You know what? I take a little bit of pride in that. So you know what? Really? Oh, man. Really? Okay. Enough with the auto-tune, baby. Let me say this. Agents of Chaos this Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, at Dynamo Pro Wrestling. It is going to be off the Heezy for Sheezy because your former tag team champion, Outcast, teams up with a young up-and-comer, a recent graduate of the Dynamo Pro Dojo, Ricky Rodriguez. It is going to be absolutely huge. The event is called New Beginning. Doors open at 5. First bell is at 6. You guys need to make sure that you make your way out there because the Agents of Chaos are looking to prove that when they step in the building, 2 things are going to happen. They're going to retain those championships, and there's going to be a whole lot of chaos. Make notes, ladies and gentlemen. Mm-hmm. Xavier, Victor, give these folks your social media, man, and tell them goodbye on your way out.
All right. Well, I really do appreciate you guys having us on tonight. Check us up on Facebook. We both have individual profiles. Xavier Shadows with a Z, and then Victor Von Stein is mine. On Twitter, it's at agents_chaos14. And for anyone who's listening, promoter-wise, if you heard something tonight you like, you want to send us out a message, you can either direct message us on Twitter or go to aochaos2015@gmail.com for an email if you want to send some info to us, and we're glad to get back to you whenever we can. Gentlemen, we really do appreciate you guys having us on tonight. The first time doing a podcast, I think, in general, and this is probably the most fun we've had. So really do appreciate you guys having us on, giving us the opportunity.
Absolutely. You guys are welcome anytime. You are now part of the Wrestle Talk family.
That's right.
Amen. I love it.
They are indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, Victor Von Stein and Xavier Shadows, 2 guys that will not disappoint, whether it's in the Squared Circle or right here on the Wrestle Talk podcast. Nightmare Jones, Great show. I know we got a little business to handle before we get on out of here, man. Why don't you tell the folks they got to make sure they pick up this book, right? Because I know you were talking about it last week. It's a huge, huge deal. So why don't you go ahead and drop the knowledge on the folks?
Now, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoy reading about historical figures in the world of professional wrestling, you want to make sure that you are going to pre-order this copy of our friend John Cosper's newest book, Don't Call Me Fake, The Real Story of Dr. D. David Schultz. If you go to www.eatsleepwrestle.com and pre-order your copy of this book, both of the authors will autograph your copy of the book. Signed copies will be shipped by mid-February, so make sure that when you order your book, you let them know that the Wrestle Talk podcast sent you. What's more awesome than not only getting a book, but getting the book autographed by the people that wrote the book? That's even better.
Dude, absolutely, bro. Getting a signature on a book like that is absolutely always a huge deal. Let me just take one final second also to remind everyone, January 28th, Esports Bar, Gaming and Console Lounge. We will have the Royal Rumble watch party. We're going to be doing giveaways. We're going to have a 2K tournament. It's $5 to get in. You don't have to participate in the tournament, but you do have to pay the $5 to get in so that you can watch the Royal Rumble with us. Trust me, it'll be worth every single penny. Next week's show is going to be absolutely off the hook, just like this one was. Thank you, Agents of Chaos. Get well soon, Big Daddy P. Thank you, FWWC. Shout out to Shannon Reed for coming in studio and doing the damn thing. Shout out to our boy, Big T, the Paisan from Heart of the Hustle Clothing, Jay Hollywood, and all of our other wonderful sponsors. Nightmare Jones, grateful to be here once again. Grateful to have the opportunity to entertain all the loyal members of the Wrestle Talk family. I know you got a song to close us out tonight, man. Why don't you go ahead and throw that, and we'll catch you guys next Wednesday. And if you miss us, just visit www.WrestleTalkPodcast.com. Appreciate y'all being here. Share this broadcast. Oh yeah, one last thing. La Familia for life.